I challenge you to compete in this simulated investing tournament to win some serious money. I hope you'll join us. I'll be coaching you every step of the way.
Interestingly, in Ohio, a state court judge made a ruling in a case involving Google, and basically it's called bifurcation. It's where there's multiple contentions in this case that the Attorney General of Ohio brought against Google, and they're going to isolate out, basically prioritize action on a contention that Google search is a common carrier. Now, remember, common carriers like, railroads and airlines, they take all potential customers and they treat them, in non-discriminatory fashion. And that's the basic, common carrier rule. And the idea is that, Google search can't preference its own content sites. It can't prioritize Google products over others. So, this has pretty big implications, obviously, in terms of all these contentions that, Google's able to route results to its affiliated content. It's been, of course, the subject of antitrust legislation on Capitol Hill. So this case will move forward more rapidly. We don't have a clear timetable for Ohio to make a decision here, the state court, but there are similar types of common carrier laws, across the country, and how this case proceeds could trigger, other state cases pursuing the same theory. Of course, when states take action, and this becomes sort of a trigger to get Congress to eventually act on this. So it's a Republican Ohio Attorney General who's bringing this case. So, there's potential bipartisan consensus on how to approach some of this. So that is something to watch. It has a lot of different implications, including, whether or not, Google can pay Apple to be the default search on all their devices and all this kind of stuff, which has potentially, substantial, monetary impacts. That's down the road. But what we're talking about here is just, looking for more theories and potential attacks against Google for its search dominance.
Any thoughts on this Twitter revelation and what that might bring on Capitol Hill? I know that Schumer and company are looking at potential big tech regulation this fall, if they can potentially squeeze it in the short time they're here. But does the Twitter incident, if you will, accelerate that? Or
I don't think it's a good question. I don't think it's relevant to that, because it's more of a sort of the antitrust case, the antitrust legislation, the poster stuff. This is more of a disclosure. The bigger impact, which I think is being reflected in the market, is just the idea that it might make Twitter's case against Elon Musk more difficult. That this witness may have data and other information, because he's being subpoenaed by Elon Musk, to substantiate or support the case that Twitter lies about spam bots and fake accounts and all this kind of stuff. And so it certainly seems to complicate the case that Twitter has, and also just in terms of public and political opinion. This is not good for Twitter as it goes into the case. 5-day trial, October 17th. And I wonder, and one question I would have is whether this could actually be a basis to delay the Twitter trial if there's additional data and discovery that gets triggered by this entire situation. So I think that's the bigger issue, is just because I know that Durbin and others have already talked about having hearings, et cetera, on this whole thing. And there is an FTC consent decree that previously had been violated by Twitter. So it wouldn't surprise me that a lot of the stuff in Washington starts revving up. But I think more immediately the question is, what has this ex-security official at Twitter, what does he have that could be very, very supportive of Elon Musk's decision to assert that basically Twitter was misrepresenting the spam bot problem. And so I think that's the more immediate question.
Hey there, Hedgeye Nation, or if you're not part of Hedgeye Nation, thanks for watching Hedgeye on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to click on the button below there. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can also follow the link in the description to our website to get even more great investing content.